as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify love. Testify to love.
I didn't want that to end. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's my joy to be here with you, as it is every Sunday. And I'm looking forward to the warm weather returning. So I know I have acclimated to Arizona when this feels cold after living in Kansas City. Okay, well, let's just shake off the busyness of getting here. Take a deep breath and begin to center ourselves by opening our minds and our hearts and being willing to let go and let God be God in each of us. We are willing to be shown what that is. We are willing to embrace this day and all of its blessings, knowing that we are here by divine appointment. Thank you, sweet Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
The topic today is prosperity. I broaden my perspective of prosperity. When I think of prosperity, I may think of financial wealth or my possessions. I may even feel tempted to compare my life to someone else's and feel as though I come up short in comparison. Today, my understanding of prosperity grows. Feeling safe and secure in who I am is prosperity. Knowing I am gloriously made in the image of God is priceless. Realizing the abundance of the natural world and partaking of it is a gift. All of these are wonderful reminders I reside in the kingdom of heaven. The more I appreciate the riches of the material world, the more aware I am of my greatest prosperity, my oneness with God. And from Matthew 6:26, look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they?
Every moment is a choice of how we want to be. To stay down or rise above. We write our own story. Let's take it higher. Do all that we can. Take it higher. Beyond what we have been. Take it higher. Be the love we're meant to be. The love we came here to be. Bring the darkness into light. Awake on a new day. And open up our sight to see a new way. Everyone is a place to rise above or break it down. And every stumble, there's the fall that clears the way to the climb. Let's take it higher. Do all that we the love we came here to be. Open our hearts, love sets us free. Open our minds to endless possibility. Open our lives, fulfill the legacy, to take it higher, do all that we can, take it higher, beyond what we have been, take it higher, be the love we're meant to be, the love we came here to be, the love that sets us free, the love that shines on you, you and me. Let's take it higher, take it higher, take it higher.
Thank you, Amber and Will. So there was a man who was agnostic, maybe not a believer. So he was surprised when he died to find himself standing in front of the pearly gates. St. Peter greeted him there and shook his head sadly and said, "I'm sorry. Because you're a non-believer, you're going to hell for eternity." So next thing you know, he's in the dimension of hell and the devil greets him warmly, says, "Welcome to hell." Showed him around, showed him where he was going to live, which was a sweet little cottage on the side of a mountain that smelled like fresh flowers and where the birds sang all the time. And the devil said, "Anything you want will be provided for you. You don't need to worry about a thing. Feel free to walk around hell." So the man enjoyed the luscious gardens and the beautiful countryside. And one day he wandered up against this wall. So he climbed one of the many trees that were there and he peeked over the wall. And much to his shock, he saw a field of fire with these people in agony and writhing. And he was greatly disturbed by this. So he scurried down the tree and he went back to his home. Next day, the devil came around and said, "Well, I came to check on you to see how you're enjoying eternity." And he goes, "Oh, well, it's quite lovely here. However, I am greatly disturbed by what I saw when I looked over the wall." And the devil said, "Oh, those are the Christian sinners." To which the man said, "But why? Why do I get this beautiful place to live when I don't even believe in God at all?" And the devil said, "Beats me. That's the way they want it." I hope you'll think about that. That's the way they want it. Sinners. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, said, "The definition of sin is self-induced, useless, unnecessary suffering." Self-induced, useless, unnecessary suffering. And if that's what makes a sinner, I would say I sin daily. We may not think we do, but we do. As a matter of fact, the Buddha said, "Suffering is the basis of life." Now that may sound pretty harsh, and if it's a couple of things unity people don't do, we don't like to suffer, and we don't like to obey, and several trigger words. Suffering in this context is not agony so much as it is living in ignorance. The cause of suffering are three things, according to the Buddha, three primary things. And the first is ignorance. I remember a long time ago as a child when I was being taught about Satan and God and Jesus and all of these concepts. I thought, I don't believe in the devil. I said, it seems to me like there's God, then there's ignorance of God. And that's the context that the Buddha is talking about. It is the being unaware of the power within to live a spiritual life. When we are unaware of our divine origin, which is we are spiritual beings having a human experience, when we are unaware of that, we tend to believe our own press releases. You know what I mean? We tend to think our opinion is the correct one. That's why we have it. We don't question. We don't question. We accept without questioning. So there's the ignorance of the self. The spiritual journey is the story of the spiritual awakening. When we suddenly realize there's more to this life than meets the eye, there's more to who we are than our heads can tell us. It's more a feeling. It's a connection to something greater than ourselves that gives us intuitive knowing, that knows to heal our bodies if we get a splinter. It's an amazing intelligence, and it's everywhere present. Its vibration is perfect peace, and it's pulled into manifestation and activation by love. That's my framework for what is God. So in addition to ignorance, there's craving. Craving can show up in all kinds of ways. If you're lonely, you could be craving a relationship. You could be craving missing some friends in different parts of the country or families. You could be craving chocolate cake. You could be craving a beer. You could be craving all kinds of things. Whenever we're in a craving mode, we are, in a way, worshiping something, and we are attached to it. Attachment keeps us stuck and always looking at the past, wishing for something, or looking at the future, never being in the present moment. Now, craving is different from desire. And sometimes, if you talk to Buddhist people, those two words can get confusing. Desire, I was taught in Unity, the root of it means from the father to sire, desire. And when we have a desire, such as maybe to move to Arizona, or to have dinner with somebody, that is coming from the Father within. And it's simply giving you an inkling about what's ahead in your life. And when that desire lingers and we start to cultivate that with our imagination and with our gratitude in advance and all those things, we are literally pulling that desire from the quantum field into manifestation. So desire is okay in my book. Craving, not so much, because I can live without some of the things that I might crave, including the chocolate. Another cause of suffering is anger. Oh my, anger. There's the obvious anger when we scream and yell and throw stuff against the wall, stomp our feet, and beat our fists on the wall, and that kind of anger. And we probably don't do that on a daily basis. But there are other forms of anger that we don't even think about very much, such as impatience. Oh, is that woman going to count out her bill with all that change? And I've got to stand here while she counts out $10.52 in quarters and nickels and dimes and pennies. Anger. Anger can show up in projection, criticism. Well, really, how dumb can you be? Well, I don't know. How dumb do you think you are sometimes? Because that's projection. You know, when we don't want to look at stuff inside ourselves, but we can sure spot it in other people. Let me tell you. And not only can I spot it, I'll tell you how to fix it. Just listen to me. Anger, 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 anger. There are other ways we create our suffering. One is revisiting all our wounds and all the stories, and he said, she said, and they did, and whatever. And there's something some of you, I'm sure, know of called one-downsmanship. Oh, you think that's bad? Well, let me tell you what happened to me. And on and on and on. And that becomes part of our identity. Doesn't that make you happy to tell that nasty old story of betrayal, hurt, lies, whatever, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? Until it becomes your very vibration? Until you become such judge and jury of everybody else's behavior, you don't even notice you're wrong. Now, when I say you, I'm not preaching at you. It's a generic you of which I'm clearly a part of it, or I wouldn't be knowing what I'm talking about. Right? The other, retelling the story. Resistance to change. We all know the only constant is change. And yet, unconsciously, nothing should change. Everything should be the same. I should look just like I did when I was 30. One thing is for sure, as we age, if we are trying to maintain how we were years ago, I don't think that's going to be a very happy old age. Because we're always going to compare and come up short, compare ourselves with ourselves. That is another way we cause our suffering. Well, I used to could climb on that ladder and fix that big heavy painting that fell, but I can't anymore. And to admit that as a natural part of life is so much better than beating yourself up and thinking, oh my gosh, what have I come? I'm just not worth what I used to be. Cancel that. You are right where you need to be, experiencing what you need to experience, as am I. Again, we are spiritual beings. That is the truth of us. And that means that goes on and on and on and on. There can be no absence of spirit because there is no absence of the divine presence. We just change forms. And then we go on to the next experience in living, whatever that is, whatever dimension. I am trying to cultivate in myself as I age an excitement about the process, not a depression, Why would I be depressed? If I live long enough, I'm gonna die. That's a joke. It's being open and receptive to the one true teacher and paying attention. And paying attention. When the Buddha said that suffering is the basis of life, what he means is unenlightened life. When we have a spiritual awakening and become willing to trust the divine process, trust the divine presence, to understand how consciousness itself is a gift and a tool for creating your happiest life possible. And it's not just about our individual selves, it's about other people. It's about kindness, compassion. It's about other people also. Because what is truly good for one is truly good for all. There is no such thing as a true selfish good. No such thing. There's no such thing as a private good. Again, if it's good for one, it's good for all. We are one. So suffering, self-induced, useless, unnecessary suffering. It could be as simple as, well, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want? Well, what do you want? I don't know. What do you want? Oh, what do I want? You know, suffer. Just go to the pantry and open a can of beans. Make it easy. Make it easy. Realize people are doing the best they can, even when they're a slow cashier, even when they almost run the stop sign and almost get you, but they didn't. All of that is an experience called life. So let's give up the suffering and head more deeply into happiness. Next week, I want to talk about how we can deepen our connections with each other. We talk about oneness all the time, and yet, do we really feel it? Sometimes. How can we feel it more often? And so it is.
She's always got one more.
I've got a story. There was a psychiatrist who had a patient. This man came in, well-dressed, nice, mild-mannered, sat down. So the psychiatrist was doing his intake of the man, you know, name, age, blah, 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 blah. And he gets to marital status. To which the man goes, ballistic! All these cuss words, all these labels. My ex-wife! Ranting, raving. So the psychiatrist goes, oh, okay. So their time was about up, and he was just getting started. Time was about up, and he says, well, when you go through a divorce, it can be really difficult. And there's a period of adjustment. So tell me, how long have you been divorced? 17 years. Talk about self-induced, useless, unnecessary suffering. You know? Yes, there's a healing period. There's a period of readjustment. But at some point, we are called to embrace change and to see the potential that lies in the next moment. Why is there potential there? Because God's already there. See you then. It's time to bless our offering. So I invite you to hold your gift in your hand if you have a gift to give today. Visualize it in your mind if you prefer to send it through the mail. And there are also ways you can directly deposit it into our account. So if you'd like to know those ways, I think PayPal is one way. You can do it on our website, and we're researching other ways as well. We want to make it easy for you to give. So please affirm with me the blessing for our offering. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Last time. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And as my sister says, that true. Okay, let us stand and close our service. The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. For wherever we are, God is. And all is well.